stay. You need to get out. I'm not sitting in the back seat.
My mom's coming too. I ain't gonna lie. You'll have to get back.
What you mean you're not coming?
It's not that deep. Just sit in the back seat.
What? Okay, fine. Y'all not married anyway. I mean, we just going somewhere. You act like you gotta sit in the back seat forever. Okay, fine. That's real crazy. Like what?
Oh boy, oh boy.
There's a litany of problems with this situation. First and foremost, I'm going to blame the parent. I'm going to blame the parent for overstepping their boundaries within the relationship of their children. You see, as the parent, should be your desire to make sure that your children have a better relationship than you've ever had in your life. Just like you want them to have better economics you ever had, better health you ever had, better everything that you've ever had. You should definitely desire for them to have a better relationship than you've ever had in your life. And one of the ways of doing so is respecting the partner to whom they decide that they want to be with. Not putting your little tantrums about sitting in the back seat and that it's only going to be a little while. Let's be honest. There's a bunch of other reasons why this lady probably didn't want to be in that back seat. But we're going to stick with the fact of her attitude and her pride. Her attitude and her pride, and that's my son and I'm the mother, caused her to create an issue within that young man's relationship with him and his wife. Now, I know she said that y'all ain't even married, but I don't really give a shit about paper marriage. I done seen plenty of people who got paperwork and they not married. And I've seen people without paperwork, they married. You go to other countries where they don't even do paperwork, they married. So, that's just a cop-out that she used when she was saying something about that one. She just needed an excuse to justify her bad behavior. And you need to stay out of your children's relationship as best you can unless you're being a helper to it. But anytime you're creating problems, you need to step away from that relationship. You need to let them be. Otherwise, you're going to create a situation where that young man is coming back home or they divorce, and then you're going to sit up there like it's her problem. She the one messed it up. The worst situation is when the relationship ends and the boy comes back home and now you don't want the boy in your house. But you were the problem. You were the one who created the mess. Now, the other big issue here is the young boy himself. You have to establish, as a man, you have to establish boundaries within your relationship. You have to establish boundaries with your parents as to what they can or cannot do within the confines of your relationship and in your home and in your car and everything else. You see, my wife is number one, meaning that my wife, and my preference is for my wife to be in the front seat with me. There's the rare occasion that she may offer the front seat to my mother. But even when she offered, I don't particularly care for it. My mother is very able-bodied. She ain't got no problem sitting in the back seat. Matter of fact, my mom don't have any problem sitting in the back seat. But I want my queen next to me. I want her in the front seat with me. I don't care if we're going 5 minutes around the corner. I want my wife in her seat. That's where she belongs. That's her right, her privilege to be there. But if she decides she wants to give it up, that's one thing. But if my mom came and my mom decided that she gonna tell her where she gonna sit, and that's a whole nother story. Now that's where I'm gonna turn around and tell my mom, you need to get on back in the house. You ain't getting in my car. I don't know what turnip truck you fell off of. But what you not gonna do is come in my house and tell my wife what she gonna do or not gonna do. Get in my car and tell my wife what she gonna do or not gonna do. Now I know I said my in that one is all things are ours, but when I'm fussing at my mom, it will be my car to make sure that she understands the level of disagreeable. Get a little mad myself just thinking about it. My mother would never do that, but it just wow. But just the disagreeable attitude no. Now, thankfully, I've never had that problem with my mother. I've never had that problem with anybody in my family. But I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen on many occasions, whether I was dealing with the other woman's family or watching other people in the other woman's family do things of that nature, you know. I've seen it where in-laws have ruled the roost of the other families of the daughters and to the husband. I've seen those situations in extended family members as I was coming up, and I found it laughable. But if you're this type of mother, you need to learn, or father, you need to stay out of your kids' relationship. And if you're not being a help to the relationship, you need to stay out of it. And if you're fighting against something like that, then you need to set some standards, or you need to let your parents know where the buck ends, where it all stops, and don't allow that bullshit. Because here's the thing: your parents, they're gonna go on, they're gonna live their life, they're gonna die one day, and then you're gonna be left with your wife or your husband. But you not showing your wife or the husband the respect that they deserve. So now you're sitting there with a person, and y'all ain't got respect for each other. You gonna live the rest of your life like that? Yeah, nah, it's not worth it. Your parents understand, because they didn't want nobody involved in their relationship when they was coming up. But what do you guys think? And always remember, you have to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations.